It's a Saturday afternoon, July 2021, and I'm about to continue my pre-Olympic interviews with members of the Australian cycling team. My face is a little bit red because I've just jumped off the home trainer and I'm going to talk with Sam Welsford. So I'm going to just invite him to this interview and find out what he's got to say for himself, because he's one of, well, not only is he a great bike rider, but he's a really articulate bloke who tells a good story, and he's a pleasure to interview. So let's get this show on the road. I'll send him the link and we'll take it from there. Just to provide a little bit of context, it was only about 3 hours ago that the Australian cycling team issued a press release saying that Simon Jones, who's been the high performance director for 4.5 years, is going to have his farewell race in Tokyo. In other words, the Olympics is going to be his last major event in the position that he's held since a little bit after the Rio Olympics. I can't say that I'm unhappy about seeing the tail end of him, because he's been particularly rude to me. And there you go. It's a little bit, gets a bit personal when people get really nasty, and he's been particularly nasty. So I can't hide that fact, and I'm going to state it right now. So goodbye, Simon. And then Sam is ready. I jumped on the home trainer, and then Sam sent me a note saying, "Hey, let's talk." And I was like, "Oh, I just got wet and sweaty and stinky, so let's just finish that." Anyway, he's been really good. Sam Welsford, if you don't know, is basically a machine on the bike. He's a silver medalist from the Rio Olympics, where the Australian cycling team went head-to-head with Team GB, and just as it did 4 years earlier, it won the silver medal behind a world record breaking British squad. I'm going to add him to the stream and we'll find out more. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Hello, Sam Welsford.
How you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
Not too bad. It's good to catch you. How was your Zwift ride?
Oh, I didn't do Zwift. I was in the Ardèche on full gas.
I've never used full gas.
It was terrific. It's a place I know well, so I was getting a bit nostalgic. So when you interrupted me, I was like, I'll just get past this little township and then I'll stop sweating.
Yeah, very nice.
So you're looking fresh and healthy and raring to go. Is that right? Is it a fair appraisal of Sam Welsford in 2021?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're about kind of big block at the moment, and we've nailed in all the hard yards, and we're just on that kind of tiny little top up on the track speed, and we hit some rehearsals on Monday and Tuesday, and that'll be our kind of last hit up before we head over to Tokyo.
What day's Fly Day?
The 24th we head over.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're all into the extensive Japan lockdown kind of bubble we're in, of numerous tests per day. But yeah, no, it should be right.
For the record, I've spoken with Luke Plapp already, and I've just uploaded Maeve Plouffe interview from earlier this week.
Oh,
so I've got a couple of pursuiters on the record already, and I mean, 4 kilometres, but many things to discuss. Let's go back to Rio, if you don't mind, because you're a silver medalist from there. Are you sort of taking this Japanese opportunity as something as revenge or inspiration, or just talk to me about how it's sort of gone for those 5 years since?
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely a bit of a redemption year. This, I think, for me. We've got a whole new team, and the last 4 or 5 years for me is about nailing the process and hitting these games, and then getting that famous gold medal. We came so close in Rio to the Brits, and 0.6, 0.7 of a second in the last lap was all it was. So it's been a long 4 years, but obviously with the COVID scenario, it's been even longer and even harder. But the group's been really solid, and we've really bound together over that period, and back to each other in as a team to go all the way and get this done from 2016.
After 2016 came 2018, and a beautiful world record by you guys up in Brisbane at the Commonwealth Games, and then the record's fallen a few times since to a level that 5 years ago we would have thought was unheard of. But the Danes are chomping at the bit. There's really fast times. What do we talk about? Like for me and you, there's a lot to analyze when it comes to team pursuing. Do you get bored of it?
No, it's the thing. Like with every comp that you do brings more challenges and more new experiences, and brings more things to analyze and read in depth to, and figure out how to get more speed out of different things, which for me is really interesting because I've done team machining for so long, and I don't it's been getting faster and faster, and for me to know the things that generate free speed and overall fast times, is things you learn over the years you can apply to team machining now. And yeah, the record's broken, yeah, 2 or 3 times now, and we're no longer the hunted, we're the hunters. I like to say now. I always think back to 2016 Worlds where we beat the Brits in London at the home Worlds, and I kind of almost think that was bit of a blessing in disguise for them, and they used that as motivation. Yeah, it's also a bit of a good thing that we kind of got our asses kicked a bit, and then we knew where we had to be and what the goals were for Tokyo.
I wonder if we can just hark back to Rio, because I mean, team pursuing when it's done well it's a thing of beauty. But
Mm.
and I remember the display that the Team GB put on in London in 2012. It was phenomenal. It was just a beautiful race. It was just like clockwork. But in Rio, it was a brutal, nasty, ugly dogfight, wasn't it? Have I got the sequence right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that Rio final was absolute dogfight for both teams. I spoke to some of those boys, the British, after the race. They were, pushed against the wall, and they were doing half laps at the end as well, and same with us. And I think that's what it's going to be like. The Olympics is such a high pressure situation that is never going to be like a perfect easy ride. It's going to be point one either way for the whole race, and it's just going to be on the edge the whole time, and then until one team eventually blows or gets away in one little moment. The margin of error is just getting smaller and smaller, and one bad start out of the gate or one missed split you do can impact the whole race. As it's getting faster, we're heading into that low 340 range now, and in the worlds, and you can see the 44, and they're predicting a way faster time in Tokyo. It will be very close with all the top teams, but yeah, we're pretty confident we can go there and get the job done.